Welcome to Andy's Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today we're going to be working on the Chevy Silverado. I'm going to show you how to replace the power steering cooler. So let's go ahead and get started. Now this particular Silverado here, it's a 2008 1500. It has the 4.8 V8 engine. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing the transmission cooler. And what that basically is, it's almost like a small radiator where the transmission fluid can go in and cool off in there. Sometimes with age, they can start to corrode and leak. But we're going to take a look in there and I'll show you exactly what this one's doing. Then I'll show you what's needed to complete it and we'll get it done. So as we come in here, you can look in the grill. You'll see right back there, that's your power steering cooler. You can see that upright, focus, there we go. You see the radiator behind it, and then, let me get closer. There it is. You have the radiator to the left, and then on the right is that upright, looks like a little radiator. That's the power steering cooler. You can see this one's all wet because it's leaking. But let's head inside of the engine bay and I'll show you another shot of it. Coming in here, and you can see right down there, it's all soaked. Your power steering cooler is right on the other side there, and it's all soaked in there with it leaking down. It even has a little bit of a burning smell from it. And then if we look in here, you can also see, because it's hitting the fan and spraying all over the place, you can see it's all wet down in there. Definitely in need of being replaced. And then on top of that, the owner of this vehicle is needing to replace the, well, not replace, but top off the power steering fluid almost on a weekly basis if the vehicle is being used. Right now, he's not using it because of that. Because the last thing you want is for that to drain all the way down, and then you want it burning out your pump. Now, if you're having issues with your pump, I'll have a link across the top and down in the description for a pump that I replaced on a Chevy Trailblazer 5.3 liter. Similar process. I'll have that link across the top down in the description. So here's everything that you'll need to complete this. First of all, you are going to need some kind of pliers, whether needle nose or regular, just to do the hose clamps. And then there's also some clips on the grill. You will need a flathead screwdriver to remove the little tabs. There's a plastic piece that goes across the top we need to remove, a ratchet, and a 10mm socket. You will obviously need power steering fluid because once we swap it out, you're going to have to top it off again. Obviously, your replacement power steering cooler. And I'll have some links down in the description to this, as well as some of the other items here if you need to purchase that. And then you will need some kind of a drain pan to catch any power steering fluid, and then a funnel to be able to top it back off again. So to access the power steering cooler is very easy. We have this plastic piece here. We're going to have to pop these little clips off. There's clips down in here. And you can use one of the tools to remove it. I'm just going to use a flathead screwdriver. But you have these here, 4 along the front, and then we've got a couple here along the back, 4 there along the back as well. And then once that's off, you'll have access to the power steering cooler. You can remove it with just doing that. For this video, I'm also going to take off this front grille as well, just so we have better visibility of what we're working on, but I'll show you how to do all that. We'll just use a flathead and just go in here, lift it up like that, and then they come right out. Very easy. Just want to be careful that you don't break them. Pop that. I'm going to take the rest of these off and then we'll be back to remove this piece. All right, so we have them all removed. So now we can just lift this up. It just comes right out of the way. And I'll get the camera in here and you can see you have a better shot. And like I said, you can actually do this replacing it right from here. But I'm going to take off the grill. Now with everything off, you can see clearly in here. So we have this is our transmission oil cooler. You have your radiator back here. Here's our power steering cooler. You can see how bad that looks. You can see how it's leaking all over it. Definitely corroded, which explains why it's leaking. And it's very easy. You can see right up here, we have one 10mm bolt holding it up there. And then right down here is another 10mm that comes off. Now you do have the lines. If we come here on this side, you can see the lines down there. There's 2 lines that we're just going to have to disconnect and then put the new one in and we're done. Now after that, we are going to have to top off the fluid because we are going to lose some. And then we are going to have to bleed any air that might get into the system as well. And we'll get into all that later. So next we're going to remove the grill, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm screws holding it down. We'll remove those, and then there's a couple clips, and then that'll all come off. I'm going to remove the rest of these, and then we'll be back and I'll show you where the clips are and we'll pop off the grill. As you can see, all 4 of the screws have been removed. So if we come here on the inside, you can see right here is a clip, down there is a clip, and then if we come here on this side, same thing. You can see a clip down here and a clip here, and they are just right here, kind of in this vicinity right here. So I'm going to pop those off, and then this should come right off. And sometimes what you may need to do is you may need to take just some pliers or something just to pinch down on that metal clip, so that way it'll slide through the little opening. I'll show you one. Well, that one looks like it's broken, but normally that would pull out right here. So if you come here, yeah, you need some pliers to pinch down on that. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll pop it off. All right, so we have them all unclipped. So now this should come right out. Wait. Oh, wait. You know what? There's also ones here in the corner that I forgot to show you. But right here is one back here. And then there's one all the way down on this end as well. So we got those out. Let me get this one a little bit better. There we go. And now this slides out. You can set it down. And now you have access to everything right in here. So here's a better shot of everything. So this is also the transmission oil cooler right here in the front. So you've got that one here, then you have your regular radiator behind there, and then you have your power steering cooler right here. So that's a good shot of everything. But you can see now we have clear access to get to that 10 millimeter, that one, and then we are going to remove this little shroud or skirt right here. We'll pop that off so that way we can get to where the lines connect, and then we can swap it out. These can be problematic to remove. You have these little plastic clips right there, and you can destroy them. So an easy way to do it, if you don't want to remove it, is you can just bend this like this and just move it out of the way, and you can access everything right here to get to the hose. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take that hose clamp, pop that off. Now the bottom one, that hose stays intact. So if we come here on this side, you can see it. Let me see if I can show you where it goes. This is it right here. You can see where it connects here. So we'll undo this one as well, and then we'll be able to slide both of those off. We are going to put the pan underneath because you are going to have some fluid dripping down, and then we'll just swap it out. What happens here? Push that back here. Just enough so we can slide this off. So I'm going to get this pushed back because I need both hands in here, and then we'll be back. All right, so we have this one off, the top one, and you can see it's starting to drip back here, so that's why I have a pan underneath. Now we're going to undo the other one, and then we'll be able to unbolt the cooler. You want to wait to do that last because you want that in place while you're disconnecting the lines. I already loosened that, getting ready to pull it out. I don't know if you can tell, but I have my pan underneath because that's going to drip. Pull that out. See some dripping out there, but that's it. So now all the lines are disconnected, so we can come here and we can remove that 10 millimeter and that 10 millimeter, and then this whole thing will come out. Then we'll remove this one. And obviously, if you have any power tools, it makes it easier, but I try to stick with manual ones for the videos because I know not everybody has power tools, but here we go. And then once this one's off, the whole thing will slide right out. There we go. And then now we'll move this, slide it down, and this will all pop right out. There we go. So this is the one that came out, the one that we're having the problems with, and I'm going to get a close-up of it, and then we're going to put it next to the new one so you can see the difference, and then we'll install the new one and then wrap all this up. But here, take a look. You can see how it's all wet in here where it had been leaking and corroded. Definitely some issues. And then let's get the new one and I'll show you. Here for comparison, this is the new one. All nice, and it came, you have the lower line that it comes with as well. Obviously we need to remove the cap right here, take that off, but you can see here the difference. So let's put the new one in and connect everything up. So bringing our new one in, we're going to slide these things around the back because they need to go around this piece. So we'll put this in. Lift that up. You got to work it around, unless you want to take that off like we talked about earlier. Bring this around there. And now with everything in place, first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach this. We're going to bolt it in so we have it all lined up with the hole here, the one up top. I'm going to bolt those in, and then we'll connect the lines on this. Hold this in place. I'm going to hand tighten these in first, and then we'll come back with the ratchet, get them fully tightened, but we want to at least just get it in place. There we go. I'm going to tighten these up, and then we'll be back to look at it, and then we'll connect the lines. All right, so we have all that tightened up, and then if we come here on this side, you can see our lines coming around right here. So we're going to take this one. That has to connect down here, and then right there we're going to connect that hose to the top one. I can't show you that because I need both hands, but that's what we're going to do, and then we'll be back to look at it. Here's what I did. I slid the hose all the way over the barbed piece down to that lip. So now we can bring the hose clamp back down here to lock it. The barbed piece is back here, so that'll lock it so it can't slide off of that. This top one has been reconnected. You can see we have it all the way down. And then this second one, if we come back here, that one is connected right here. Now the replacement piece that came with the new cooler, that one is just a regular hex head type of hose clamp or a flathead screwdriver. So we didn't have to use the pliers for that. But everything's been reconnected. We're going to check the levels, top it off accordingly, and then we'll need to bleed any air out of the system that got in with the new cooler, because you don't want to leave the air in there because that can cause problems. Check our levels. And our power steering level is actually really good. We didn't lose much at all, just a little bit dripped out. However, you do still need to bleed it because air is in obviously the new cooler, so we need to work that out of the system. So I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video. If you want to see a video I did where I showed how to get the air out of your power steering system, I'll have a link across the top down in the description. But that's what we'll have to do before we conclude this. You know, once you swap out the cooler, you do need to bleed it out. All right, so everything is on. We have this back in place. We're going to put the grill back on. So we'll bring this in. And you want to make sure that you line up all those clips. Remember, you have one all the way down on each side, then we have them across the top. We'll put those on, put the bolts in, or the screws, then we'll put the top piece on. I'm going to do all that, and then we'll be back. I'm not going to show it. It's the same way we removed it, but just in reverse. All 4 of the hex screws have been put on. We come in here. You can see the clips there. There's the one here right down there. And then here on this side, same thing. You have those here. And then you have that one all the way there. Everything is now in place. So the next thing I'm going to do is just put the plastic piece across the top, put those, I believe it was 8 little locking clips in, and then that's it. All the clips have been put back in. So the next thing you would do, and we're not going to show in this video, like I said, I have a video that you can check out down in the description. The next thing you would do is you want to start the vehicle, get the front end up a little bit, go all the way left, all the way right, back and forth till you work all the air out of the system. So you're going to be looking for the bubbles to be coming up when you open up the actual reservoir for it. Once the bubbles are done, you've got all the air out, then you want to make sure that you top it off. You want to make sure that your levels are good. You don't want to overfill it. If you do wind up in a position where you overfill it, I'll have a link also across the top down in the description to a video I did where I showed how to siphon out any excess, because you do not want it overfilled. You want it to the max, but not above that. So that wraps up this video on how to replace the power steering cooler on a Chevy Silverado. I'll have links down in the description to other videos I've done with this vehicle. As mentioned before, it's a 1500 4.8 liter V8. Please send me any questions and comments. I hope that the video was informative for you. And as always, I appreciate all the support. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.